My favorite sewing memory is my very first stitch. I can remember taking my very first stitch in junior high. Hi, I'm Joanne Banko. I'm an author and a designer and a sewing instructor. And one of my favorite things to do is to take something blank and make it beautiful. I'm going to show you today how to embroider a pashmina scarf with bobbin work embroidery. I love to embellish pashmina scarves. They're such a great basic to wear dressed up, dressed down. And sometimes I'll do a little bit more detailed embroidery like you see on the garments that are hanging on the dress forms. But today we're going to do a really simple technique called bobbin work. Bobbin work is very simply just a straight stitch. You can see blank to beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and drape this one on here so you can see how beautiful that can be. And I'm going to use that little bird design that's built into this machine. And if you don't have built-in bobbin work designs in your machine, you can explore the possibilities for purchasing bobbin work designs. They're very simply a straight stitch. They're done with special threads, and the threads that you would find for bobbin work are different from your normal embroidery style threads. Embroidery style threads go in the needle, and bobbin thread goes in the bobbin. For bobbin work, we use thick decorative threads. Think of the type of threads that you maybe used for hand embroidery, for decorative serging, even lightweight baby yarns. And you're going to put those into a special bobbin case. We're going to remove the ordinary bobbin case, replace it with a special bobbin case that has the screw loosened. You see I have a little screwdriver here. That's kind of your clue that you're going to be able to tweak that tension a little bit. So remember, you just need a second bobbin case that can be used for bobbin work. We're going to need to hoop our fabric. I'm using a fabric similar to the pashmina fabric, and we're going to drop in the bobbin case, put it through the normal tension, but not quite all the way through because we don't want to cut that off. Then we're going to actually bring that thread to the surface, take one stitch, give a little tug, and we always want to start with that tail up at the top. We're going to select that bobbin work design, that pretty little bird, and we want to always remember that embroidery needs stabilizing. So I've got my piece of fabric stabilized with a heat away, and that's very simply a plastic type stabilizer. We've got a few other types that work well for this. One is a paper stabilizer. What you want is something that tears very easily, so you want to remember that. You don't want to have to fight with that stabilizer as you're taking it off of the project. So wash away, heat away, or tear away. They all work well. Okay, before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and slip the hoop on the machine and then plug in the drop light feature, which goes right into this connection here. Okay, I'm going to go to the sewing screen and I'm going to rotate that design. Now when we go to use bobbin work, we want to bring up that needle thread. So I'm going to advance to the first stitch and then hold my needle thread, one stitch down, one stitch up. Sometimes it takes two stitches. Give that just a little tug, pull that tail up through. Don't need all that excess thread, so I'm going to clip that off. And I like to just tape this to the side. That just keeps it from tangling because we've got some loose, thick threads there. Lower the presser foot. Make sure you always snap that little lever closed. I love the way the machine reminds me when I make a mistake. Green to go. And while that's stitching, I want to show you how to wind the bobbin. Now, remember we talked about these thicker threads? They're not going to wind like a standard bobbin, so we're going to skip the tension. We're going to wind around the bobbin like we normally would. Cut that little tail, snap that over, and we can actually wind the bobbin while we're sewing. Just going to slow that down just a little bit. And make sure you don't overfill that bobbin. So it's as easy as that. Clip that little tail thread. Now there's a couple other things you want to make sure you check on your machine before you do bobbin work. Very often with embroidery, you'll find that you have an automatic cutter and an automatic tie-off. Neither one of those things are going to work well for bobbin work, so make sure you turn those off if that feature is not already turned off for you. You're going to see when we get to the end, it's just simply going to stop. We're going to have a tail to deal with, so I've got one already stitched here. I want to show you what it looks like on the wrong side. And you can see you've got a nice textured, solid look there. The last and final step for bobbin work is to simply tie off those thread tails. We're going to tie those by hand in a knot. Feed your final tail through with a tapestry needle through to the wrong side. There you have beautiful bobbin work. Wasn't that fun?